$75 threshold, that doesn't make sense. Threshold, thank you. $75 threshold, everything ships for free. So maybe you're with Marla a little earlier and you're getting really darn close to it. The good news is once you hit it, then everything flips to free shipping. And don't worry, you can check out multiple times and our systems will make that shipping correction for you. Yay! All right, so here in Florida, I swear, 365 days a year, we have the creepy crawlies. We have everything, you know. And there's a lot of southern states that are like that, where you just have the bugs all the time. But we really aren't too far out from those of you in the north who are gonna start, everything's gonna start waking up and decide to wanna crawl into your house again. And how do we get rid of them in a really safe and easy way? It's plugging in these darn ultrasonic pest repellers. We have sold, Lou, do you have any idea?
Millions.
Like millions and millions and millions of them here at HSN. And here's the one reason why. The darn things really work. That's what's shocking. Without having to use poisons, without having to use those awful chemicals, without having to use the bad sprays. And Lou, you guys have put together a really cool configuration for us today.
No, we have.
I like this combo.
Yeah, it's a 9-piece set, so you got enough to do basically a whole house.
Upstairs, downstairs.
Upstairs, downstairs of a whole house. And people always ask me, why do we get so many? Okay, and the reason is the way they work. It's because they use sound waves, ultrasonic sound waves, to repel the pests. So basically, ultrasonic sound waves are just sound waves at a higher frequency than we can hear. Human beings can't hear them. Your dogs and cats won't hear them, but you know what? Rats hear them, mice hear them, roaches hear them, spiders hear them. We don't know what it sounds like to them, but we know that it's disorienting, we know they hate it, we know that it makes them want to run away. Now, why so many? Because sound waves reflect off of walls. They echo, they reverberate, okay? Like in our studio right now, you can hear the echo of my voice going back and forth in here. In a room, if those sound waves, those ultrasonic sound waves get trapped in that room, they never go anywhere else.
That's right.
So you gotta put one in every single room. Now, the other nice thing about this set is the smattering of all the different types you get.
That's what I like.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So you're getting 3 of the minis in this. These are the little tiny ones. And by the way, they all work the same regardless of size, so don't worry about that, okay?
So here are the 3 little guys.
Yeah, the 3 minis on the top. In the middle, you're getting 3 of our standard size. And then on the bottom, you've got one that has an extra outlet. You've got one that has night lights. And then you've got one that has both an extra outlet and a night lights. So you're getting a bit of everything in this one. But regardless of how big they are, they all work exactly the same. I mean, for me personally, I like the minis for like the bathroom and the kitchen to put above the countertops. Maybe you want, you know, you don't want to lose an outlet, so you want to have that one with the extra outlet, one of the 2 with the extra outlets, and put those in your bathroom and kitchen. It's entirely up to you. But the beautiful thing is that you don't have to do anything. You plug them in, and they start working. Okay,
so I got a couple of my own personal stories.
Okay.
Here's what I want you to do. So we had a problem with mice being in the walls of our really old house. And you can, unfortunately, late at night, I could hear them. It was totally gross, right? And I got so mad. I went to use my dishwasher in the kitchen one time, and I'm like, what is wrong with it? It's not working. I had a plumber come in. So imagine that. Now you have a plumber. You're paying for that.
Yep.
He says, he pulls up this plastic piece and goes, oh, you had a rat chew through this. And I was like, it cost me more to replace the dishwasher, much more than $39.90.
Oh, sure.
So immediately I plugged in, I got him, I ordered him right away, and I plugged him in, and I'll be darned, from that day forward, I never had any more creepy crawlies.
Right.
And that was throughout the entire house, because I had them in different rooms. Another one too, I had a little line of creepy crawlies coming into my house, and we were having a really tough time getting rid of them.
Right.
And we had tried, you ever seen those little pads where you put the drips of some kind of horrible poison?
Yep.
I have 2 dogs. We don't want them to get into that, but
Absolutely
we tried it because we were desperate, right?
Yeah,
of course, the creepies went around it. They're not walking through it.
They know
went
better.
around it.
No.
And so guess what? What took care of it? This did. And it was a problem we tried. It was ridiculous how many different methods we tried to get rid of.
Oh yeah, well, and see, that's the funny thing is that when we have a problem like that, we kind of panic. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, listen, get your Bell & Howell pest repellers now. Be proactive, don't be reactive.
Right.
Because by the time that you start seeing the creepy crawlies, you start seeing the rats and the mice, you've got a problem. It's an infestation at that point, okay? So it's a little too far gone. These will work, but it's gonna take longer. So I tell people, get them now before you get to that point. And here's the thing. Our reaction normally is that we're gonna run out and we're gonna buy every last thing in the store that we think might work, okay? And you can spend a lot of money on this stuff.
And guess what? You're doing it over.
And
it's never ending.
Well, no, because this stuff all wears off. Like you spray it down, and over time it wears off. You've got to reapply, or you run out. So you got to go back and do it again. When you're dealing with the rats and the mice, this is poison. This stuff is like actually dangerous to your pets. Like see the green stuff in there? That's actually little poison cubes.
And not good too if you have grandkids or kids.
No.
Some of them think it's candy.
Yeah, no, it looks exactly, well, you know, they make it look like food on purpose so that the rats and mice get attracted to it. That's why they do it on purpose. And then these traps right here are just flat out dangerous. You know, with the Bell & Howell pest repellers, you don't have to spend any time applying anything. You don't have to bait any traps. You don't have a carcass to deal with when a trap, you know, kills something. And now somebody's got that great job, yeah, exactly, of having to go and get rid of that. So that's
or you
why,
smell it in your wall.
Oh, well, see, once they die,
what is that
I don't
awful
care if it's
smell?
poison or they get caught in a trap, if you don't find them, because they don't just die like right there, they go off somewhere and die.
Right.
And then you get that smell that lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, with the Bell & Howell pest repellers, they don't die in your house. They leave the house, they go out, and they go
And you know
somewhere
what?
else.
It's such a more humane thing.
No, it really
like,
is.
you know, there's nothing worse than hearing a snap,
Yeah.
and you know there's some mouse or rat caught in there with his little neck broken, or it's still squirming around, and it's
it's horrible.
And it's awful because whoever has to go take care of it has to finish the job.
Exactly.
And it's just, you feel
You can't just
bad.
throw 'em away.
Yeah, if you feel bad, you don't have to kill anything, right? Well, that's what I like the most. It sends them to your neighbor's house. It's not going to be in your house anymore because it's like somebody's nails screeching down a chalkboard. You know, you're like, you want to get away from it, and that's exactly how they're reacting.
No, that's exactly how they're acting, is they do want to get away from it. You know, and again, it's weird because we can't hear them. Actually, wait a minute. We can't hear them, but you can see them. I'm going to show you that right now. I almost forgot I had this. This device is an ultrasonic leak detector, okay? So people that work in the HVAC industry, when they have a leak in a gas line or a high pressure line, they use this device. There's a little microphone up here and a little meter, and it hears ultrasonic sounds because the gas is under pressure, and if it's a pinhole, comes out at such high pressure, it makes an ultrasonic sound wave. So we've got one plugged in right here in front of me. Now, ordinarily, to the eye, the only way you would know that this guy in front of me is on is there's a little red LED right there, and every once in a while you're going to see that flash. And by the way, if I cover the sensor on top, the night lights come on. See how cool that is? Now, watch what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to put this in front here, just like this. We just got to be able to see the screen. And then when I press the button on this, the microphone is now listening for an ultrasonic sound wave, okay? So watch how every time you see the red LED go on the pest repeller, you also see the little red ball on this bounce. And that's because it's hearing an ultrasonic sound wave. Now, Suzanne, you can't hear that, can you?
No, not at all.
I can't hear it either, but this guy can. So that's why I say to people that kind of doubt that these are actually effective, that they're actually working, that's science right there. That's proof that these are actually putting out that ultrasonic sound wave. And at the end of the day, I like knowing that it's something that's not going to hurt anything.
Right.
Not just the fact that I can't hear it and my pets don't hear it.
It's not going to hurt babies. It won't hurt the pets.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, here's something else. How many of you live in a big city? Or how many of you live in an apartment complex, or you have townhouses? And you might be the neatest neat Nick in the whole wide world, but your neighbors are secretly the worst hoarders ever. And then you get roaches, and you're like, how am I getting roaches? It's probably the people around you. Hello, New Yorkers.
Yeah.
How many times have you had a roach issue where you live, right? It's probably the people around you, right? So what you do is you put these up. There's no poison. There's nothing snapping. It's not awful. There's nothing worse than opening up a drawer and seeing roach legs in the drawer.
Yeah.
Or have you ever come into your place and flicked on the lights and you see something out of the corner of your eye and you go, I know that wasn't good. I know that wasn't good. And I had that problem when I was in my 20s. I had no food in my apartment. I couldn't afford any food. It was the people above me. I know exactly who they were. They had a really bad roach problem, and it infested my place down below them. And I couldn't do a darn thing about it.
Nope.
It was
you can't do anything about. Well, see, and that's why I tell people.
It was a nice apartment. It wasn't like I was living.
No, you weren't slumming
a
it.
bad place.
Well, no, see, that's why I tell people, if you get these in your place, in your living space, right, it creates almost like a force field. It's like this bubble that you live in now. So you can't control all these other people around you are doing, but you can control your environment, and that's why these are so important. Now, the other thing too is if you live in the city and you're like on the 50th floor of a high-rise building or something, you think like, I'm impervious, they can't get up here. All the pipes, all the wiring, everything that's in the walls, it's like a super highway, okay? They just run on that stuff all over the building all the time. So they can get to you. That's why you've got to be on the defensive. You have to be the one that's going to have this where, you know what's interesting? Where I live, they're building new houses around us, okay? And they're tearing up the ground. And we've never had a pest problem before, or my neighbors, all right? And all of a sudden, my neighbors are like, hey, you got any of those pest repellers? Because they're all having issues now with pests coming into their house. And why is that? Because when you do new construction, so if your house could be brand new, they're tearing up the environment where the pests live. So they gotta find somewhere else to go.
Oh, great.
Right? And especially this time of year, like if you live up north and it's cold outside and you know, there's nothing growing anymore so they can't find any food, guess what they want? They wanna come in your house because you got heat, you got shelter, you got food, water, you got everything. So all the pests are gonna come in, especially those mammals, the rats and the mice. And by the way, did you notice when we went down the list, if we show all the pests that this takes care of, right? Spiders are on there, but I had nothing for spiders in all my little kit
how do
here.
you catch a dumb spider?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right?
Quickly.
At all.
If.
And again, we're talking about all the yicky creatures that we just do not want in our homes.
Right.
It's going to actually take care of that. Now, this is one of the largest configurations we have, and what I love especially, because I've tried all versions, I really love the nightlight version. It really does work great.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a little bit of light that kind of, if you're going from your bedroom to maybe the bathroom, it's great for in the hallway. I love the fact you've got 2 of these that are going to give you your plug back. A lot of people want, in fact, when we first launched, we didn't have any of that.
No,
a
none
lot
of
of
this,
people love
none of
these
this.
because you're not going to have to take up 2 plugs. It won't take, you actually get a plug back, which is awesome. Then you're getting the 3, and again, they all do the same effect. So don't worry about the size. The size does not matter. And these are great, especially like you said, for the bathroom or the kitchen.
I love them for that.
And they're only going to take up 1 little spot when you're using them. So get them now. I love what you said. Be proactive.
Be proactive.
Don't wait till all of a sudden you got a hot mess in your house this spring.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and you know, like I said earlier, if you wait too long, all right, you're going to have an infestation. And you know, here's the thing, killing the pests isn't always the solution. For instance, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. If you have German cockroaches in your house, right, the female German cockroaches carry their eggs in sacs on their legs. If they die, they will still jettison the egg sacs and those eggs will still hatch, okay? So killing them is not the solution. The solution is to repel them and get them into their house. And think about this too. If you walk in someone's house and you see this, does this say pest problem or does this say pest problem? I'm gonna go with this guy right here, okay? So that's why I always tell people, listen, don't worry what these look like, don't worry about anything like that. Plug them in, let them start working. They look like air fresheners, nobody's gonna know, and just let them do their thing, whether you're there or you're not there, Suzanne. What do you think?
You know, totally agree. And you know what? You had me at leg eggs. I hope no one is actually